Hello and welcome. This is Scott Nicholson, President of Enterprise Recovery Systems, and on behalf of myself, Steve Recchia, and everyone here at ERS, I would like to thank you for attending today's webinar regarding social media on campus, delivered by Doug Shantz of Wittenberg University. We have an audience in attendance both here at ERS as well as over 100 registrants that signed up through the internet via WebEx. If you registered via the internet and are having technical difficulties, please contact WebEx support at 1-866-229-3239. The experts there should be able to quickly resolve any issues you are having. The upcoming presentation is the first in a series of 4 webinars that ERS will be sponsoring this year. Our objective is to provide our industry colleagues with a resource of best practices and information pertaining to current industry-related topics. Future webinar information, including topic date and time, will be forwarded to everyone that is in attendance today. As an FYI, our next webinar date is June 14th, 2012. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Steve Recchia, Vice President, for further introductions.
Yes, hello. Thank you for joining us today. Beside me, I have 2 well-known individuals in the higher education community that have helped us tremendously in the preparation of today's event. They are Danny DeSantis, the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Financial Services from the University of Pittsburgh, and David Glazerman, the Associate Vice President / Bursar from Temple University. In certain circles, this dynamic duo are better known as the Bursar brothers. The Bursar brothers will be the moderators for today's presentation and will facilitate any questions that you may have. These gentlemen have done presentations for many different organizations and have also co-authored a book titled Managing and Collecting Student Accounts and Loans. So if you're attending remotely and if you have a question today, you could submit a question via the Q&A link that's at the top of your screen on that tab, and then you'll submit your question to Denny and David, and then they'll do their best in submitting the question to our guest speaker, Doug Shantz. Last couple items here before I turn this over to the Bursar brothers. First, ERS will be recording today's event, and we will make it available for download on our website shortly after the conclusion of this event. And lastly, I would greatly appreciate it if everyone could take a moment at the end of the presentation to complete the comments page for suggestions to help us in future events. So with that being said, I now turn it over to the infamous, world-renowned, internationally acclaimed Bursar brothers.
Thank you, Steve. This is Denny DeSantis. I'm also known as John Bursar. I'm from the University of Pittsburgh. And my good friend and colleague, is also my brother, is here with me, David Glazerman, who is also known as Elton Bursar. And we have a long history. We are brothers. And I wanted to remind you again something 2 points that Steve made. One is that there is a Q&A, so if you have a question, feel free to type it in as the question comes to you. And at the very end, we would certainly appreciate filling out a very short survey once the webinar concludes. So thank you very much. We're glad to be here, glad to be in cyberspace. Let me turn the podium over now to my brother, Elton Bursar.
Thank you, John. And good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're at in the country today. We just wanted to thank ERS for its sponsorship and its commitment to continued education in the student loan and accounts receivable marketplace. As part of the 4 webinar series, we wanted to offer to everybody the chance, by answering a question after every webinar, if you join us for all 4 in the series at the end, there'll be a random drawing for copies of the book, Managing and Collecting Student Accounts and Loans. So I want to give you today's question. And again, keep track of these because at the end, those of you who have all the correct answers will be eligible for the drawing. So today's question is, where were the Bursar brothers born? There'll be no hints today, but again, you may be able to bribe one of us at some point down the road. I want to take this opportunity. We have a terrific topic today to kick off the webinar series to talk about social media and student financial services. In a world where a lot of us in higher education are considered to be dinosaurs because we rely on email and know very little about social media and other means of dealing with our students, Doug Shantz is really an industry expert on bringing social media onto the college campus. Doug's currently the director for the Office of Student Accounts at Wittenberg University in Ohio. Doug is a person who thoroughly enjoys talking about topics related to paying for college, saving for college, scholarships, all types of financial aid, education loans, and just anything you can imagine that's related to dealing with college expenses. Doug is also the founder and editor of the College Money blog, www.cheapscholar.org, where he utilizes his years of expertise and experience to help make college affordable and accessible for our families and students throughout the country. Cheap Scholar receives thousands of visitors and has established a following of nearly 10,000 members on Facebook and Twitter. When Doug's not here presenting for us, he's usually collecting student debt, or you'll find Doug on the golf course, both of which he enjoys equally. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Doug Shantz.
David, thank you, Denny, thank you, ERS, for having me here today. We have a studio audience as well as those that are with us on the internet, and I look forward to sharing this time with you. Couple things about today's session. Whether you're a seasoned veteran when it comes to social media or you're a novice, my hope is that at the end of today's session, everybody will at least have something that they can take away from it. So one question that I have, which those that are joining us from over the web, you can answer it, but we won't hear you. But with our studio audience, first things first, just to get a lay of the land, how many of you have heard of Facebook? We have many hands up just for those that are listening. How many have logged in and set up an account or checked it within the last month? Still have many hands up. How about within the last week have you checked your Facebook? Still many hands up. How about within the last day have you checked your Facebook? Still many hands up. How about within the last 4 hours? Many hands up. Last question. Who has checked their Facebook in the last 15 minutes? 30 minutes? Hour? Okay. We have one honest fella here that's checked his Facebook in the last hour. What that goes to show you is what we're going to be talking about today is social media. There's something that's a little bit addictive about it, and it's the way of future generations and how they learn to communicate and talk with each other, and it's hard to avoid, and it's a part of our everyday lives. So, without further ado, a couple things. What I want to share with you is at Wittenberg University, we do incorporate social media into our student financial services arena. And when I talk about student financial services, we actually have two separate departments. One is the financial aid office, and one is the Office of Student Accounts. But we come together in our social media presence at Student Financial Services in the way we communicate to our students. So some things that we do, most importantly, is communicating deadlines. If you have bills that are coming up or there's certain things that need to be done, we utilize Facebook and Twitter to communicate deadlines to those folks. Another thing that we do is we utilize social media as a way to implement some sort of student financial literacy program on our campus. It's a nice way to share good information with our students and hopefully make them better stewards of their funds that they're receiving. Another thing we do is we communicate scholarship opportunities. There are times throughout the course of the year when students will be made aware of different scholarship opportunities that they may want to try for. Mailbox alerts. We still do paper statements at Wittenberg University, and we send out mailbox alerts just so that our students and families know when they can avoid their mailboxes. Not really. It's actually so that when we hope that they'll go and check it out. We share educational news articles. There's a lot of great news articles out related to the college industry, and we put that out there if we think it's fitting for our students. Updates and reminders on processes and procedures. This could be related to financial aid, it could be related to student loans, it could be related to something that we deem important that they need to be aware of. And then lastly, videos. We'll put videos out there. Our campus Christmas card. We don't make it all about business. We also have fun as well. And we also, Constitution Day, put a nice video out there. I don't know if any of you are aware, but if you do receive Title IV funds, you have to recognize Constitution Day on your campus in some way or facet. That's our way of contributing from our office area towards that. One of the things that you'll find out as we talk about social media is it keeps it wide open, the communication that we're sending to our families and students. It's not just for the students. In many cases, it's for the family members. It's for the parents. It's for the aunts. It's for the uncles. It's for anyone that has a vested interest in the financial aspect of their students' educational experience. And it's a way for us to broadcast messages out there so that everyone can be in the loop on that. So the first thing we're going to look at is Facebook, and what I always like to do is share some Facebook stats and facts. Some of them are awe-inspiring, some of them you probably have heard before, but it's always kind of neat to just get a feel for Facebook and its impact on the world. First off, there's more than 850 million active users. 48% of those active users are 18 to 34-year-olds that check their Facebook right when they wake up. And then 28% of those, they check it before they even get out of bed. Our studio audience is laughing if you can't hear them, but it is true, and I might even be one of those. But with your smartphone abilities now, you don't even have to get out of bed, and you can be checking your Facebook. In 20 minutes, in a 20-minute snapshot on Facebook, here's some things that can happen. There's over 1 million links that are shared on Facebook. Could be to articles, could be to different events, number of things. 1.4 million event invites are sent out. That's for, could be birthday parties, social gatherings, whatever it could be. Those are sent out on Facebook, and people chime in whether they're coming or not. 2,716,000 photos are uploaded to Facebook in a 20-minute period. 1,972,000 friend requests are accepted. Now, what I don't know is how many are denied or avoided. I'm not sure. 1,587,000 statuses are updated on Facebook. 10,200,000 comments are posted in a 20-minute period on Facebook. Now, here's another interesting piece. The average user has about 130 friends. So looking at the folks in the room, where do you fall on that? Those are the Facebook users. Below, about average. I just became about average about 3 weeks ago. Before that, I was below average. I had quite a complex. I'm doing better now that I have a little over 130.
We're up to par then.
There's some folks, though, they have more than 130. They could have up to 500 or 600 I've seen. They call those folks collectors. They like to collect friends. So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you Facebook in action. Let's see. What I'm going to show you is how we incorporate Facebook at Wittenberg through our Student Financial Services office. And the key here, again, like I said, for those seasoned professionals, this will be maybe old hat for you. For those that are novice, and this might be something new to you, but my hope is that everybody gets something out of this. This is a Facebook page. Now, what you need to know about Facebook pages is you can set up what you call a fan page. And basically, it's just like any page that you would have for your personal use. But this one's a fan page for a specific use. So you can set one up for your office, for your department. You can set one up if you have a Barry Manilow fan club. Whatever it is that you feel passionate about, you can set up a fan page, and it can do just about everything that your regular Facebook page can do. So here's the layout. You can see this is Wittenberg Student Financial Services. This is our page, just giving you a quick glance. Now, for those that are seasoned Facebook users, you'll know that Facebook just changed some of the layout within the course of the last month, and actually they made it mandatory 3 days ago. So this is the newest, latest, greatest layout, and I say latest and greatest in quotes because Facebook deems it as being the latest and greatest, but for some of us some of us that are used to the old style, we prefer that. So anyway, this is what the page looks like. Now, if you set up your page, here's some things that you want to know how to use. There's an admin panel. You can hide it, or you can make it pop out however you want. Right away, you'll see in here there's notifications. I don't have any new notifications right now. I guess that's pretty sad. I don't know. But if you go back up to the top, you look at the manage. And the first thing you can do is you can look at editing your page. Now, one of the things that's important about editing your page is that this is where you can set a lot of the permission settings. You know, some schools feel very strongly that they don't want families or students to comment on their posts that they put out there, their news blast. Other schools are wide open. Well, here, when you go through on the permission settings, you can set what you would like to allow people to do. You can allow people to post on your page, you can allow them to comment, or you can shut it all down to where it is strictly nothing other than a way of distributing information, okay? There's some other things that you can change in settings, the lookout, the layout, things along those lines. But when in managing and editing your page, that's probably one area that you want to pay close attention to, is what you want your folks to be able to do. I can tell you at Wittenberg, we allow all of our families to be able to comment and post onto our page. We've never had anything crazy out there that we've had to intervene on. Everybody's been very respectful on any comments that they would post, but we do have the ability to go in if someone puts something derogatory. If it's deemed appropriate, we can delete that. Next thing under manage is you have activity log. And basically what this does is this just gives you an idea of what you've done on your page over the course of the period of time. And you can go down and through here and you can see this talks about what Wittenberg Student Financial Services has done. We've commented on stuff, we've updated our status, we shared a link, there's a number of things. This just gives you a snapshot of what your activity has been on Wittenberg Student Financial Services. The next thing you can do is, if you ever have people that maybe they're doing bad things and you don't want them to be on your Facebook page, you can ban them. As of right now, you can see we don't ban anybody, but that's one of the options. If you have somebody that's abusing what you're trying to have out there to help your families and students, you can ban them from the page. Another thing that I'd like to show you is this little feature here. Use Facebook as Wittenberg Student Financial Services. What's really nice is that you can change over. You see up here, it said Doug Shantz, but now it says Wittenberg Student Financial Services. So what it means is I can go out through the Facebook hemisphere and I can be Wittenberg Student Financial Services and act as Wittenberg Student Financial Services. So anytime I leave a comment or a like or something like that on a post, it comes up as Wittenberg Student Financial Services. And then, very quickly, if I want to, I can go back to using Facebook as Doug. So anytime I would make a comment or a like or something, it would come up as Doug Shantz. So that's a nice feature to have. One of the ways in which I use that is on Wittenberg's homepage, Facebook page, I will go in and I'll respond to students and families, and I'll respond as Wittenberg Student Financial Services, because that way it gives appropriate recognition back to our page, but it also lets the family know that it's coming from a valid source, the information on there. Another feature that they have, Facebook loves this, building audiences. They always want you to be able to get more and more people connected with your pages. I'm not going to go into detail on this, but you can send invite emails out, invitations to different friends. It can actually, I think, import contacts from your emails. So it's one way to build audiences. The next box over we have is the help. If you ever get lost, stuck, or just not sure what you're doing, help is on the way. You just go to the help box, and that helps you out. Another thing then that you see here is messages. And recently we had messages from a family. It's an incoming student, and it said, "Hi, Whit, can you tell me whether notice about student financial aid award letters have been emailed out?" I responded, and then they said, "You bet, thanks, and just blah, blah, blah," and they say, "You guys rock." That's good. We like to see that stuff. We rock because we're on Facebook. So anyway, you can track messages and things like that along there and see that. So this is all up in the admin panel. Now over here, you'll see likes. And on new likes, we can click see all, and it pops up all the people that like us. And we like that people like us, because as bursars in this world, not too many people always like us. So it's a vote of confidence when we can see that there are lists of people that just really like us. Not only are there people that like us, but there might be other fan pages that like us. There's some Wittenberg pages here that like us. I really like that Baldwin Wallace Financial Aid likes us. That's pretty cool of them. Wittenberg Career Services, cashcourse.org likes us. I do not know who Equal 6 is, but they like us. So you can see who the people are that like you. What's also neat is right now I'm an admin for Wittenberg Student Financial Services. But at any point that I deem appropriate, I can make somebody else an admin right here at this box. So I can go in, I could designate 422 admins on here if I wanted to. But that's not how I would do it. But it just goes to show that if you are setting up a Facebook presence on your page, you don't have to be the sole person responsible for managing and updating the page. You can set a person to share that administrative process with. Yes?
Doug, I have a question from the audience. In terms of how much time or what percentage of your time do you take in monitoring your Facebook account and having to respond? Is it like 10% of your time, or is
no, it's probably, I'm sure everybody heard the question, it's probably 1%, maybe less. What happens on Facebook is number one is on monitoring it, you can set up in the permission setting to receive notifications. So I have it set up anytime someone acts on our Facebook page, I receive an email. Okay, not only do I receive an email, but then it also pops up in my regular, I'm a Facebook addict already, so it'll show me things on there. The other thing is that
10% of your Facebook addiction or of your time?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Good question. Good follow-up question. So, I really try to make it to where I have very minimal time involved with this, because I don't want to make it a full-time job having to manage our social media presence. And if it ever got to be that way, then we'd have to seriously consider how we approach it. But right now, it's not very often that we're having to manage it in that way. It's very little time commitment, and some of the tips and tricks I'll show you today will show ways in which you can manage it effectively to where it's not very much time. Everything can be on an automated process to update your social media outlets. So hopefully that answers that question. So again, looking through here, you can make admin. You can also, again, you can look and see who's banned. We don't have anybody banned, so maybe soon we'll get somebody. I don't know. So then we're still in the admin panel here, and what we'll look at here is we have the insights, and on the insights, click that. You can see this gives you an overview of what kind of activity you're having on your page. Okay, so you can see total likes, you can see the friends of your fans, you can see how many people are talking about it. There's a number of different things that you can look at. You can also see which posts were hot topics. Here's a scholarship alert, and it seemed to be fairly hot. It seems like our scholarship alerts are some of the hotter topics that we put out here. Another thing that I like to look at here is on likes. You can get demographic data of the people that like your page. And what you'll see on this demographic data is that it fits perfectly with our demographic. Majority of our people that like us are between the ages of 18 and 24. It looks like 65% are female, 16% are male. Then you get into this bubble of other people that like us, and they're about 45 to 54. So what this tells me is that this is our student population, this over here is our parent population, and then we have a spattering of other folks here throughout. So it's kind of neat just to look at that. I don't really utilize this data. I guess you could analyze it as much as you want, but it just really depends on how much free time you have on your hands. Again, there's some reach demographic data, and actually we won't be able to have that one. So that's in the insights area. Then there's page tips. There's other things they can do, like you can customize your URL. We did not customize ours, but you can have a facebook.com / Bursar Brothers or whatever you like, David. So you can set up your own. So for now, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this. We don't want to see that anymore. This is what families see, students see when they come and land on your Facebook page. You know, right now they have this new cover picture theme going on. You can set a beautiful background. A lot of people like beaches or mountains and stuff. I've got a nice picture from our campus up here. The other thing that you'll see is there'll be a like button here. I've already liked it, so it's telling me that I've already liked it. Another thing that you have is this message button. You can have this button be there or not be there. It's really up to you on what you want to do, but if you have that message button there, then that means that that parent or student that likes your page, they can actually send you a message, just like the one that I showed you a minute ago. Okay? In here, this is our About page. You can click on it. It gives more information about us. This is free form, so you can put as much in there as you want or as little as you want. We put contact information in there. We also put in there our website pages for Office of Financial Aid and student accounts, and also our Twitter page on there. So you can put whatever you want in the About link there. You can also upload photos if that's something that you like to do. You can put other photos in there of your campus or things along those lines. One of the new features that came out with the new rollout of this is this highlight thing. You can organize a person visiting your site. They can pick what they see on here. So they can say, well, I just want to see friend activity. So if any of their friends, which I have 5 friends that like this page, I could see if they did anything on there. Or I can just look at, maybe I just want to look at posts, any posts that were done by Wittenberg Student Financial Services. I can do that. But for the most part, the default is always going to be highlights. And on the highlights, you can see, I'm going to show you just some examples of some posts we've done. There's a scholarship alert. This was a great one for folks that are in our geology department. Here's a new feature with our Wittenberg One Card where they can deposit checks by scanning it with their mobile phone. Made sure to communicate that to the students. Here's another scholarship alert. Let's see, another scholarship one. Here's one about housing. These are important dates to remember. We put this out there because students that have outstanding balances to the university, they can't do any of these things until they get it taken care of. So we wanted to make sure to communicate those important dates for them to know. So right up here, back up at the top, you'll see this is where you put a status update. And you can type in, whatever you would like to type in. You can upload a photo from your computer, or you can use a webcam and do a photo. Another thing, which is kind of neat, and I have not done it yet, is ask a question. So you could ask your student population, if you dare, I can come up with an easy one like, do you like spring? Okay? And hopefully the answer would be yes, but then you add options, and the answer say no. And yes. And maybe I'll put another option, not when it is raining. I can't see my typing, but anyway, you can think of ways in which you can use this to poll your students and your families to see if there's something that maybe you want to change in your office. Maybe there's a process or a procedure, and you want to get feedback, and this is a nice way to do an uncomplicated way. You post it, then they respond to it, and it tells you what their responses are, and it makes it public. So that's why I say be careful what you put out there, because they'll be fairly honest in their responses. You could say, do you like getting bills? I think the answer will be no. Maybe somebody will say yes. I don't know. So anyway, these are different statuses that you can put out there. You can also put links. Another feature now, they call it milestones. So you can, if there's something important that you want to put, like maybe your offices changed locations, and you can put in that you went to a new building. That could be a milestone or something along those lines. So.
We'd be curious if anybody, if you want to just put a note in the chat box, if there are any schools out there that are using Facebook right now to survey their students and service issues.
I don't know. So the status box, and the other thing that you can do is you can put links in here. Like one thing we can do is, I'll do one right now. Attention, again, my eyes are bad. Graduating seniors need help. Yeah, you guys gotta keep on me on this one. Need help tracking your federal student loans. Check out this link. And what I'm going to do is go over to Cash Course. I've got a link here. I'm going to copy this link location. Back to Facebook. I'm going to copy it in there, and it pops up, and I'm going to post this. And then, so what that's done is now it's linked it to our cashcourse.org page. They go to that, and that gives them information about NSLDS and how they can track their loans. Now, I just did that live, so every one of our folks following us now got that message. So it just shows how quickly you can do a post. I did that in 6 seconds, and how easy it can be to do that.
Doug, how do you introduce your Facebook page to your students?
Sure. Introducing our Facebook page, we kind of had a silent campaign for a while because we didn't want to get bombarded with too much questions and traffic and activity while we fumbled through it. So we didn't really put much out there. But then what we've done now is we actually link it to our Wittenberg webpage under Office of Student Accounts, and also under the Financial Aid Office. We have buttons out there for our Facebook and Twitter. Another thing that we did now is everyone that's in my office staff as well as in the Financial Aid Office staff, we put a tagline at the bottom of our email messages that we send out. So it has it on every email we send out. It has links to our social media outlets. And then lastly, we do different, we try to have different events and things on campus that would just highlight the availability of it and encourage folks to like our pages. And again, like I said, as bursars, being the financial folks, it is like, pulling teeth to try and get people to like us. But the ones that do like us, they do enjoy what we put out there, and it does seem to help. So that's how we've incorporated that into there. So I think that's all. The only other thing I wanted to show you is when you do incorporate Facebook and you set up fan pages, I'm going up here to the right. This is my home page. Over here on the left-hand side, you see the arrow. It shows the pages that I have set up. I have one set up for my website, Cheap Scholar. I have one set up for Wittenberg Student Financial Services. So very easily, I can go and I can access my pages and see what kind of activities going on those. Another thing that I want to show you is that here, I'm going to my Twitter page for Wittenberg Student Financial Services, and if everything worked the way that technology should, you see what that says right there? Right here, for those folks that are looking. It says, attention graduating seniors, need help tracking your federal student loans? Check out, and it has a link. That's when I talk about automating stuff so that you don't have to overtax yourself trying to manage your social media. What I put on Facebook, I have it set up to where it automatically goes to our Twitter followers, which I'll be going over Twitter in just a minute. But I just wanted to show you this automation feature because that is nice to be able to have. So what we're going to do now is go back into our slides, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Twitter. Facebook is the most common one that everybody knows. Twitter is starting to slowly gain ground. Oh, I forgot that last fact. Average user spends 31 minutes on Facebook every day. That's the average user. Twitter stats and facts. For those that aren't familiar with Twitter, what I like to think of Twitter as is kind of like text messaging on steroids. Basically, you have 140 characters in which you can communicate to all your followers on Twitter. In the form of, it's kind of like how text messaging works with your phones. You have only so many characters, and you can send a text message to a single person or a group of people. Well, Twitter's taken that and they've mastered it to where now what you can do is you can do basically the same 140 characters and you can communicate to a mass amount of people. Yes,
Doug, we have a question from Elise. She asks, is there an assigned person that responds to your friends and followers?
Yes. That's basically, you're going to make it the admin in your office. Whoever you have set up as being the admin, that's who you would coordinate with being the person responsible. You always need to make sure that you respond, within a 24 to 48 hour period, maybe at the max 48 hours, because if somebody is responding and trying to reach out to you through social media, I mean, they're probably hopeful that they'll get a quick response back versus what a phone call or an email might elicit. So, good question. So just some Twitter stats and facts. Twitter has over 200 million accounts. 100 million of those are active. The other 100 million are people that probably opened them, decided they didn't like it, and moved on. 55% of active users are mobile users. I think that's the way with anything in social media right now or in our world. 460,000 new Twitter accounts are opened each day. 350 million tweets are sent each day. 36% of Twitter users, they tweet at least once a day. Top Twitter accounts. These are people that have the most followers. When you set up a Twitter account, your hope is that you get followers, because followers are people that are interested in what you have to say. Now, before I show you, these are the top 10. Anybody have any speculation who number 1 is?
Lady Gaga.
Woo! Somebody's been doing their homework. Lady Gaga has 21,951,000 followers on Twitter. Now, if you notice, oh, and I just saw Denny says he has 4. Right. It's all right, Denny. What you notice is you see a common theme on these top Twitter accounts. They're all celebrities, from what I can tell, with the exception of one person. That person is Barack Obama. He's got 13.5 million Twitter followers, but the rest of them are all celebrities, from what I can tell, ranging from mostly it seems like entertainers singing, stuff like that. So anyway, I just thought that was amazing. Good job. Kudos for the Lady Gaga people that got that. We'll give you a prize afterwards. So let me show you Twitter. This is my Twitter account. It's I have a handle. My handle is Cheap Scholar, but I have my name up there. And this is what your main page looks like when you go to Twitter. It looks like there's a lot to soak in, and there could be for those that haven't seen this before. But it really is pretty simple, if you believe me. I'm not sure. What you have, first off, is on this page, at any time you can compose a new tweet, and it tells you your character count down here. So you can tweet whatever you want to your followers. You can put links in there, you can link to videos, you can put pictures. There's a number of different things that you can do as it relates to Twitter on there. When I first came in, what you see over here on the right-hand side, these are tweets. I am following 997 people. Okay, I can click on here and I can see who I am following. You can see who I am following. I'm following Arnie Duncan. Anybody know that guy? Department of Education, U.S. Secretary. He talks on Twitter, which is really cool. Anyway, anytime that any of my followers, 997 people, they do a tweet, it comes up in here and notifies me, so I can see what people are talking about. Some of the stuff could be important, some of it not so much. But it's a way to where you can kind of keep tabs on what's going on out in the world. So that's the tweets. Then you have your followers. And your followers, right now I have 6,060 followers on Twitter. And these are my followers. Most recently, Northwood Admissions, Northwood University. UNLV, Kenyon College followed me. I'm following them. You know, I can go through and see who my followers are on here. Ally Financial, These are folks that have an interest of what I have to share on Twitter. So they follow me, and anytime that I do a tweet related to Cheap Scholar, they get to see what that is. Another thing you can do is you can favorite tweets. It's kind of like bookmarking. So I was talking with Mark Krantowitz a while ago on Twitter, and so I favorited that one, so it pops up in my favorites. There's another one where my university was giving me some good press on the good things that I try to do, and I favorited that one. But you can favorite those things. Another thing on this side is you can look at lists. Now, what lists are is that's where you can start a list. So I started a list of colleges and universities, and then I can dump people into that list so that I can follow them through a list, and I don't have to manage it through my regular followers. It gets a little complicated, and I apologize on that. But the other thing that's neat is you can see people can include you in their list. So down here, I've got College Parents of America. They put me in their college experts list. College Bound Resources, College Success, Springfield Businesses, College Blogs. You can see these are all organizations. They've started lists, and they included Cheap Scholar or me in their list. So anyway, it just kind of goes to show you a little bit on how that works with followers and things along those lines. Now up here at the top, you'll see across the bar, the next one is Connect. And on Connect, this is where you show interactions or mentions. So anytime someone puts @Cheap Scholar in their tweet, you can see here on the right-hand side, all of these have @Cheap Scholar in it. I know somebody's talking about me, or they're trying to talk to me, okay? So like Mr. Evans, @Cheap Scholar, are you a credit union member? If so, have you utilized whatever? He had some questions about credit union scholarships. It's a nice way to track where, if somebody's trying to communicate with you, you look at that. Interactions includes the @Cheap Scholars, but it also tells me that Northwood Admissions followed me 21 hours ago. Or they, Connect Books, tweeted something about us a couple days ago or a day or so ago. So anyway, it's a way to track your activity and what's going on in the world of Twitter. Next, you have Discover. And what Discover does is it's a way, number one is at the top up here you'll see, kind of tells you what kind of up-and-coming news is going on in the world. And you can kind of track different stuff, different stories. There's a story about Ryan Gosling. I think we've had enough of those. Anyway, it kind of just shows if there's certain trends that are going on. And over here you can see on the left-hand side, United States trends. So here's some topics that are trending. We Love the Vampire Diaries is one that's trending. And you click on it, and you can see all the tweets that are going on about We Love the Vampire Diaries. So you can see these trends, and it updates all the time to let you know what people are talking about. So that's kind of under the Discover. Now then, on this side, this is what I think is neat. This is kind of an eye-opener. This is a search box. And on this search box, you can search topics by using a hashtag and then whatever that topic is to see if anybody's talking about it. Or you can search individual names or keywords, and you can save those searches for later use. And one of the ones I like to use, like I guess you can look at, I can use Wittenberg. Now, there's Wittenberg, Germany usually comes up a lot. But I can see if anybody's saying anything good about Wittenberg or what's going on at Wittenberg, or inversely, maybe saying something bad about it. But typically it's going to be good things. Here's a very humbling one. If you're out on Twitter, you work in the student financial industry, you should do search on Bursar. And let's see what people say about Bursar. Very first one, Abby. Every time I go pay my Bursar account, a piece of me dies inside. Can't wait to be able to pay my parents back one day. Oh no, that's a local one. Seriously, I can't stand the BGSU Bursar office. I'm assuming that's Bowling Green State University. I've been on hold for so long that I forgot I was on hold. Anyway, it's very, you laugh. Wait, you're on here too. These are all within the last, look, Abby's was 32 minutes ago. That one was an hour ago. I mean, it's amazing, some of the things that you'll see on here. Sometimes they'll be good things, but when you do a word search on Bursar, it's a very humbling experience. So if you're having a great day and you just need somebody to bring you back down to earth, go on Twitter, do a search on Bursar, and see what wonderful things people have to say. This one? Notice there are important changes. Oh, that's an announcement from SIU mentioning Bursar. So that's a positive one. Rowan University. See, some of these are actual positive news announcements. Pictures of coffins placed in front of Univin Bursar's residence. I don't know about that one. So anyway, that's something neat. But you can search all kinds of terms. You can search your school. You can search your own name. You can search whatever. And if somebody is out there on Twitter talking about it, you will find it there. Another thing that you have the ability to do, if you click on this, there's a thing called direct messages. And you can track messages that you have direct communication with other folks. What you'll see here are all outgoing messages. Everybody that follows me, I have a social media tool set up. So Northwood Admissions got a thank you for following Chief Scholar, enjoy our tweets. Please consider connecting with us on Facebook. It does it all automatic. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't have time to manage that stuff, but it does it automatically so that they know that we're also on Facebook. Same thing, Kenyon College and some of these others on. Last thing I'm going to show you is under profile, just the settings. And again, when you get into settings, there's things that you can do with your account. You can set up some of the basics. One of the things that I like to talk about, you wouldn't do this in your offices, but you might want to do this personally, is called the tweet privacy. And you can protect your tweets so that nobody else can see it publicly. And the only people that can see it are those people that you allow to follow you. They go to follow you, they put a request in, and just like on Facebook, you would approve it. Once you approve it, then they're allowed to see your tweets. But if you're using it at your institution, you really don't want to protect your tweets because you want anybody and everybody to have access to what you're trying to put out information-wise. There are also some other key things, password. You can set up mobile devices. Notifications, that's where you can set if somebody tweets about you or says something or whatever, you can have it send you an email. That way you're not having to come out here every day to check your Twitter profile and see what's going on. So, okay, that's what I wanted to show on Twitter. Oops, don't want to show that to you. Next, I want to talk about blogging. Now, not everybody here is probably going to be blogging at their institution, but it is something that you see more and more, and it is a way in which you can reach out to your families and students and providing good information out there, and cheapscholar.org is a good example of trying to help folks out when it comes to navigating their financial experience. So here's just some blogging stats and facts. There's over 164 million blogs on the Internet. 56% of Internet users, they read blogs, like daily, or every time something comes out, they read it on there. 80% of blogs are abandoned within the first month. And there is good reason for that. If you have aspirations of doing a blog, you better be committed because it takes some work to get it going and get it established. It's not easy to be able to do. And you know, 80% of folks don't deem it worth the time and they stop. 68% of bloggers that are blogging have been blogging for over 2 years. So it seems like once you start and you get past that wall, it must be easier to keep on going. 33% of bloggers are female. Have no idea what that statistic means, but 33% of bloggers are female. They're more committed, probably than males. I don't know. 27% of bloggers update their blog daily. Those are the full-time bloggers that have no other time in the world. It's very difficult to update a blog daily. Those are full-time bloggers. 64% of bloggers are hobbyists. Those are folks where I would fall and be more in line. So, just to give you an example of how blogs can work and social media in action, on the cheapscholar.org website, we did an article, it's actually authored by our Director of Financial Aid. It's the top 10 ways that FAFSA is like a colonoscopy. The title alone really gets you, on there. If you do a Google search right now on FAFSA and colonoscopy, it's going to bring you to that article because nobody else talks about that. But we put it on cheapscholar.org. What happened is it got picked up by NASFA, National Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators, and it got shared with their group. Well, once it got shared with their group, then it went viral. And I don't mean viral like Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction viral. It went viral as viral can get in the world of financial aid. Within a few hours, we had over 1,000 visitors coming to read this article. Not only did we have 1,000 visitors, but they started sharing it. If you look up there through Google, they started emailing it to their buddies in the office. They shared it with through RSS feeds and through LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. And it was just a mild example of how viral social media can be, how quickly it can be, and how well it does in helping to share information like that. So we've got just a couple minutes, and the only other thing I'm going to show you is blogging. When you're doing blogging, this is the cheapscholar.org blog. It runs on the WordPress platform. You can start a blogger for free or a blog on blogger.com or wordpress.com. But just some things that you want to keep in mind when you're doing the layout for your blog is usually the top bar, you need to put an about on there. When people come to your blog, if they're not sure what your blog is about, they need to know. So I have something up here. It's the founder's message. You get to see a nice picture of me and just talks a little bit about Cheap Scholar and what we do. Another thing that you have to have, you don't have to, but it's always nice, is archives. If you have archives, then people can go and they can look through your different articles that you have. And up here I've got the last 30 posts or so on here. On Cheap Scholar, I think we're around 420 articles on there for people to be able to access related to the financial aspect of college. Another thing that you need to have on a blog is a contact us page, okay? It's important that your readers and people visiting your page have a way to be able to contact you. So you always, if you're going to have a blog, you need to have that on there. And then what else you want to have in that top bar is anything important. I'm going to click on the Find Scholarships as one of our most important pages next to our College Resource Center. People come, and we have, all the scholarship databases that are, noteworthy. We have them out there as well as some other resources and tips to help them on finding outside scholarships. Because we all know as bursars, the more money we can help these students bring to our campuses, the less money that we have to worry about collecting on our own. So that's the important thing up at the very top. You also should have a search tool on there. If people want to search your blog for a certain topic, you need to have a search bar up there so that they can do that. The other thing that you want to have then is it's going to be your logo or something, so they know when they hit cheapscholar.org that they came to cheapscholar.org. And so you're always going to have that in a prime location up towards the top. And then you can also have advertising there or something similar. In Wittenberg, that links right to our admissions office. So then when you're going through on the website, then further down you'll see the next level is categories that we talk about on the blog. You'll have those on yours. And then you'll get into content. So this is what you'll see here. Whoops. I want to refresh that. What you'll see in the meat of your blog is going to be your content. And so these are recent articles. We just did an article yesterday. Also, just so you guys know, here's another article on cheapscholar.org. I'm going to click on it. Student Financial Services Social Media Presentation. Everything that I covered today is on cheapscholar.org for you to be able to access, okay? So everything covered on the slides is here. Everything not covered on the slides is here. There's also some cool and free tools that I have here that can help you manage your social media so you're not making it a full-time job. They're all free. Make use of them. They're nice ways to be able to help you manage your stuff. So right here's you're going to have the meat of your blog as far as the content in the main page. On the right-hand side, it's always important. When you're doing a blog, you want people to be able to subscribe to receive your information. So you try and make that as available as possible. So they can subscribe to our RSS feed on the right-hand side. You'll see that. They can receive articles via email. They can follow us on Twitter. They can connect with us on Facebook. You want to make it easy for people to get access to the content that you're putting out on your blog. Now, another thing that's important on a blog, and I'll just show this briefly, is you want to have tracking stuff, because you want to know how many people are coming to your blog to make sure that you feel justified in doing what you're doing. This is a free service, SiteMeter.com, and what I can see here, this is just a site summary. Today we've had 244 people, 388 page views. I can look at the previous 12 months, and I can see last month we had almost 15,000 page views on there. Another thing that you need to know is every time you're visiting websites, one of the things that we can see when you come to our website is we can see who's coming. So I'll see right now, University of Iowa, are you on this call? If you are, I see that you visited right here. I can see that you're using Internet Explorer, and you're on Microsoft Windows NT, and I can see that you're still on here. I can also see, so there's a number of things when you're visiting websites, they can see where you're coming from. So you can see a lot of .edus in there, going down through there, indiana.edu. We can also tell where you came from in many instances. If you use a certain search tool like Google, or you came from a website, there's one, ERSE. So there's a number of different things that you can use, but you want to have those metrics so that you can track what people are doing, what they're seeing, what's working well for them. So, in closing, I'm going to go back to Cheap Scholar. We've got 2 minutes. I have this really cool video, which is exactly 2 minutes, so we won't keep you any longer than necessary. And can you see that on your screen? Okay, so what I'm showing here, though, is if for whatever reason you guys are, looking at implementing student social media into your student financial services arena, hopefully today you got, video is starting again. Hopefully you got something out of today's session that can help you, incorporate that. And one of the things that I put on here, by having this out on Cheap Scholar, you guys can come to it any time. Just do a search up here in the toolbar, for social media 2012 or something, you'll find it. If you have questions along the way, you can also contact me. I'll be more than glad to help you to answer any of the questions that you have. But I appreciate you allowing me to spend this time with you today and to talk about social media, and hopefully everyone got a little something out of today's information.
So thank you. Take from our audience in terms of how can you use social media to try and collect on student accounts?
Well, what's neat is I haven't used it to collect on student accounts, but you'll be surprised at what a debtor will probably put on Facebook or on Twitter that you may not be able to find otherwise. And so usually through using some of the search tools available through Facebook and Twitter, you can find and track down a debtor, and sometimes you can even figure out their schedule, especially if their Facebook page is open for everybody to see. You know where they work. You can find out, when they're home, when they're not, many things along those lines. You could even, I guess, send them a message directly from your, in our case, it'd be our Wittenberg Student Financial Services page directly to them if they have it open. So there are ways in which you can use social media in which to track down. The way in which, we utilize it, though, is with our current students and trying to keep them informed of current, due dates, reminders, and responsibilities that, regarding financial aid paperwork, loan paperwork, things along those lines. That's the most focused portion of how we utilize social media on our campus with our current students.
Okay. And then, again, Doug, on behalf of everyone, I'd like to thank you for a very tremendous, informative presentation today. Steve, you want to just tell us about presentation availability after the webinar today, and just a reminder about the survey, please.
Yeah, the webinar you just saw today will be available on our website shortly. It's www.ersinc.com. You can view it again in its entirety. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, there will be a survey. It's just 5 short questions. If you could just help us out and complete those questions, it'll certainly help us out for preparation in future webinars. Thank you.
And again, the next in the series of ERS webinars will be on June 14th. We also have webinars scheduled for September 27th and December 6th. So with that, again, I'd like to thank everybody who's here in Oak Brook, thank all of you around the country, and to my brother John, say have a good day, John.
Have a good day, John.
And good day to everybody out in the country today. Have a great day, folks.